No, I know. No, no, that's fair. Yeah. Steady.
That's right. That's true too. All right, I got 7:02, which means I think we can start. Just give me 1.5 seconds.
When Tom gets here. Yeah.
Oh, Tom's not even here.
Yeah,
so
when
it
he
doesn't
gets
matter.
here, we'll start. But, I mean, you're good.
All right. I think now, whenever you're ready. Yeah. Yeah.
We are This day from generation to generation, Litor Vador, these lips will praise your name.
Wow, Shabbat Shalom. Welcome. So glad that you're here with us. It's been quite a week. If you are one of those people who looks to the synagogue to be a source of comfort and sanctuary and calm, then I'm glad you're here. And interesting, as I'm sure you know, that it's been quite a week because there are a lot of things that have been exceedingly consequential. Not just the obvious election that happened, but on the same day as the election here in Israel, Prime Minister Netanyahu fired his defense minister because he's just disagreed with him. And that's causing a lot of trouble and struggle in Israel at this time. And then to just finish it off, as you probably heard about yesterday or last night, there was a horrible, horrible, horrible attack of Israelis and Jews in Amsterdam because of Israel was participating in a soccer match. And obviously there's a lot of details which are still unfolding as to what exactly happened, but it was a really crushing and frightening scene. And so we've been going through a lot this week. We really have. And what I want to do is tell you about maybe our chief and principal Jewish narrative. The most important one we have is the story about how we left Egypt. And that really is the origin of our people. I know that we are in the Torah portion Lech Lecha this week. I know that this Torah portion is about Abraham and Abraham's son Isaac, and Isaac has a son Jacob, and Jacob Joseph, and I know that these are our patriarchs who are the, as we think about them as like the Mount Rushmore of Jewish tradition, but they're not. They're really not. The Mount Rushmore of Jewish tradition is Moses leaving Egypt and bringing us into the wilderness so we can get to liberation. Now here's the thing. Oftentimes when people think about that story of Egypt, we think about it from the perspective of slavery to freedom. But it's not. We didn't go from slavery to freedom. We went from slavery to wilderness. And wilderness has a pejorative negative connotation to it, but it also has a positive. But what it isn't is definitive. We know that we're no longer in slavery, but what we don't know is what it's leading towards. We're in a period of limbo as we're in the wilderness. We're in a period of uncertainty, what the future is going to be. In fact, it's 40 years of wandering, trying to figure out what our future is. And so basically, we went from bondage, not to freedom, but to possibility. We went from bondage to a sense of unknown about the future. And that's where we are today. Our collective experience, I think, is one of, we went from Egypt, and now we are in a place of, let's see. Fact of the matter is that, well, I don't want to give numbers, but half of the people in our country, more, voted. And we voted, and democracy worked. Whether or not you like the result, still democracy worked. Now, whether or not you have real concerns for the future, that's where we are, in the world of possibility. We're not going from bondage to the fire, we're going from bondage to uncertainty. We're going from bondage to a place of potential, and we'll see. That's where we are. That's where we are with respect to Israel. That's where we are with respect to America. And I hope that you can recognize that our story has always been a story of a lack of clarity. That's been our original narrative. That's our birth story. And we find ourselves back there again. It's not gloom. It's not doom. It's uncertainty. And that makes us uncomfortable. No one likes uncertainty. People like to be grounded. People like to feel as if they know exactly what's going on, know exactly what they can expect. It's hard when we're not in that place. That doesn't make it bad. It just makes it uncomfortable. And I hope that as we move forward, both as we move forward here in our country and also as we move forward globally, we see this as change, and change always brings potential. And change always can be changed for hope. And if that also hasn't been one of our most enduring narratives too, the Jewish narrative of hope. And so we come here together, yes. We come here for a sense of sanctuary, yes. We also come here with a sense of hope, hopeful both here and hopeful both there, and hopeful that we are not going into a terrible place, but we go into a place of just uncertainty. But also with uncertainty comes possibility. And so let's begin our service officially with the lighting of the Shabbat candles, page 120 in your Siddur. On page 123 now as we continue with Kiddush. Again, 123.
Baruch atah Adonai,
Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagadol.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'yava uvratzon inchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh, zecher letziyat mitzrayim, ki
Kivanu v'acharta, v'yotanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'hava uvratzon, inchaltanu.
Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh hashabbat l'chaim.
Amen.
Yum, yum. All right, as part of, I believe that was a 2025 vintage. We continue with elements of Kabbalat Shabbat, beginning with Adonai Oz, page, well, it's
138.
138, yes.
That's easier.
Yep, 138. And Kabbalat Shabbat continues with Psalm 92, and this is Tov Lehodot, page 140.
Tov lehodot Adonai, uzamer l'shimcha elyon. Tov lehodot Adonai, uzamer l'shimcha elyon. Ve'agiva boker chasecha, ve'emunatcha b'leilot, alei asor ve'alei navel, alei higayon b'chinor. Tov lehodot Adonai, uzamer l'shimcha elyon. Tov lehodot Adonai, uzamer l'shimcha elyon. Hisimchtani Adonai b'volecha, ma'aseh yadecha aranei, magadlu ma'asecha Adonai, b'chodam ma'asherotecha. Tov
All right, so before we continue, I do want to just say one brief thing, and that is that every time Nashira sings, they are basically screaming to you to sing along with them. You may not be able to interpret those screams, but that's what they're doing. They're saying, sing with us. Nashira has never been, nor is it, intended to be a performance piece, but rather opportunities to encourage more singing within the congregation. So please, please, if you're ever wondering, oh, if I sing, I'm afraid that it will, make the way that they sound worse because we're singing along, doesn't matter. Sounds prettier when there are more voices. So just please know we want you to sing along with us. Now, our service continues not in our prayer book, but rather with just a very meaningful ritual of ours, and I want to tell you a little bit about it. So over the last year or so, and by the way, there are a handful of people in the congregation today who fall into this category. But over the last year or so, I have been spending time with a gentleman from our congregation named John Sullivan. You may know him because he has contributed and will continue to contribute with our group of Zimra, the band or the musical instruments that we have up here, that Tom is the principal leader of, but certainly not the only one. And one now is a new member of that group is John, who is the percussionist. So if you're ever wondering who if you've said, I've seen him before, it's because you've seen him up here on the percussion. But John's been coming and meeting with me because he, for quite a while now, and not just when I say quite a while, meaning over the last year, but for so long prior to that too, he has been involved in a Jewish home, and he has been hopeful about the idea of connecting more firmly with our Jewish tradition, and has for the last year been on an active path towards conversion to Judaism. And this is a very, very special and meaningful thing, especially in this day and age, in which Jews are being harassed for no other reason except save that they are Jews. And so when people make a decision to link and join hands with our people and to become a Jew, it is exceedingly meaningful, and we are exceedingly grateful. And just to tell you what I told him, because this is really important, and really important to me, that there is no asterisk alongside the person's name when it says a person, when it says, for example, oh, this person is a Jew, asterisk, see below, oh, but they converted. There's no asterisks. The moment you make a decision to join your hand with ours is the moment that you have completely and totally connected and embraced the Jewish people as we embrace those who do so. And so we have a very famous expression from our tradition which says you should never say to a person who has converted to Judaism that their parents have pork between their teeth. Now, I don't know if you understand, that's the quote from the Talmud. But what it's basically trying to say is that just because you may have grown up in a house one way doesn't make your sincerity and your care in any way questioned. And so what I'd like to do is, now one last thing, and then I'm going to invite John up. So for those who have gone through this process before, and I'm just kind of staring down, there's one or two, maybe three in here, but yeah, maybe four, 3 or 4. So then you know that the process is one that has 2 steps. Well, aside from the preparation, the culmination has 2 steps. Step 1 is at the mikvah, the ritual bath. You immerse yourself 3 times, say 3 blessings, and that has been one of the most important elements of this transition from Christianity or someone who isn't Jewish to Judaism. However, we as a synagogue leave those people in limbo until the Friday after the mikvah, because along with that very personal experience in the mikvah comes a public declaration too. And so, at this time, what I'd like to do is invite John Sullivan to come forward and join me here on the beam. And we are going to go before the ark and take out a Torah. And so since we are doing so, I would like to ask everyone to please rise. Leaving the ark open because everyone's standing here. So, talk to you until I have a turn. There we go. Okay, good.
Of my own free will, I choose to enter the eternal covenant between God and the people of Israel and to become a Jew. I accept Judaism to the exclusion of all other religions, faiths, and practices. Under all circumstances, I will be loyal to the Jewish people and to Judaism. I promise to establish a Jewish home and participate actively in the life of the synagogue and the Jewish community. I commit myself to the pursuit of Torah and Jewish knowledge.
Now, the one expression which I think you know as being central to our people is the Shema, and it speaks of God and one God and our insistence that there is only one God.
Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
So, just a few more things, and that is that we want to offer you a blessing, and this blessing comes from the Torah. On the other side of what you're holding, you'd have to scroll quite a while to get to it, but but still, it's in there. I am positive about that. It's the blessing which Moses and Aaron bestowed upon all the children of Israel in the wilderness. It's the one that says, "May God bless you and keep you." And it's one that we continue to use to this very day as a very meaningful, important, and central expression of our people and our people's connections. And so together, Cantor Snyder and I would like to offer you a blessing.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
John, may God bless you and may God keep you.
Yaher Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha.
May the light of God's face shine upon you and be gracious unto you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom, shalom.
May a sense of God's presence surround you and bless you with peace. Amen. Mazel tov. Join me. Siman tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov, siman tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov, siman tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov. Yehi lanu, yehi lanu, yehi lanu, ulechol Yisrael.
Yehi lanu, yehi lanu,
I saw them before.
ulechol Yisrael. Yehi lanu, yehi lanu, ulechol Yisrael. Yehi lanu, yehi lanu, ulechol Yisrael.
Mazel tov. Remain standing. Avram Tzur as his Hebrew name. Avram, named after, of course, Abraham, as in the same guy from our Torah portion this Shabbat. And so may you always be as wise and strong and committed and courageous as Abraham was. And may you take those qualities and enrich your family and our community as you go forward on this path. Awesome. Thank you so much. So our service continues. Go back to your seat. Our service continues. Please remain standing because we continue with the Baruch Hu, our call to worship, page 146. We continue. Please join me in the reading the English. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, HaMa'ariv Aravim. 152.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vayed.
Please be seated. 154.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בהם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם Adonai Elohechem Emet.
We've been doing this reading a lot in the last year. It's something very meaningful to me. I share these words because the message is critical at this time. both since October 7th and now after yesterday. It's important that we continue to hang on to these words. Standing on the parted shores of history, page 157, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, and that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Micha Mocha, page 158.
Who is like you? Adonai. Who is like you? Mocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha, nedar b'kodesh, norat tehilo, osefelet, norat tehilo, osefelet. Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, norat tehilo, osefelet, norat tehilo, osefelet. Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai?
Page 161. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will.
Baruch atah Adonai, haporech sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai, haporech sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Ve'al Yerushalayim, ve'al kol amo. Ve'al Yerushalayim, shalom. Ve'al Yerushalayim, ve'al kol amo. Ve'al Yerushalayim, shalom. Baruch atah Adonai, haporech sukat Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael.
Our service continues with the tefillah. It can be found beginning on page 164 and then goes somewhat rapidly, 166, 168, and 170. And so it begins with Adonai Sifatai Tiftach, page 164. Please rise.
Adonai Sifatai Tiftach Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Yadadai, dai, dai, 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 yadadai, dai, dai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah.